Good morning, guys, and welcome. Today we will be starting our new devotional series out of the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms is by far the longest book in all of the Bible. In fact, there's 150 chapters. So there's no way that we will be able to cover all 150 chapters during our devotional series. But we have selected or handpicked some of the Psalms that we thought would really be encouraging to you. And we were hoping that the Psalms that we have chosen will do the following. Firstly, it will show us who the Psalms is really about, just like the rest of the Bible, and that is Jesus. In fact, in Luke 24, verse 44, this is what Jesus said. Jesus said to them, "This is what I told you while I was still with you. Everything must be fulfilled that is written about me in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms." So what we're hoping to do in this time is to show you how even the book of Psalms is really all and pointing towards Jesus Christ. A lot of prophecies. It is the book with the most prophecies about Christ in great detail and how they are fulfilled later on in the New Testament. Secondly, what we're hoping to achieve here is to show you just the very real dealings of God with people and people with God. This book of Psalms is filled with some incredible highs as people go through life and in their relationship with God, and some very low lows in their relationship with God as well. So today I have the privilege of starting us off in Psalm chapter 1. So will you read with me, please, from Psalm chapter 1, verse 1. "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction." So the psalmist speaks about two types of people. He speaks about two types of choices, and then he speaks about two outcomes. So the two types of people are the blessed and the wicked. It says, "Blessed is the man who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers." Here what we see is a progression of events that will lead to destruction. Walking with the wicked can eventually lead to us standing with sinners, and eventually becoming comfortable with the mockers. We can go from walking to standing to sitting, and before we know it, we find our place among sinners, partaking on that which does not please the Lord. But it says, "Blessed is the one whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night." You see what it's saying here is, instead of us taking our counsel and advice from sinners, we turn to the word, to the law of the Lord, and we delight in his law, because we have made it our aim to live to please the one who we delight in. And as we do that, it says we become like trees planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaves do not wither. You see, as we feast and delight on the word of God, we become established like a strong tree by the waters. We become fruitful, whose fruit does not fail, and we are sustained, whose leaves do not wither. But it's not so with the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. This is what John the Baptist said about Jesus on this great separation. In Matthew chapter 3 verse 12, it says, "His winnowing fork is in his hand, and he will clear his threshing floor, gathering his wheat into the barn, and burning up the chaff with unquenchable fire." And so what he's speaking about here is in the olden days, there was a farming technique. And what would happen is the farmer would place the wheat he collected on a threshing floor and drive his oxen around it so that their hooves would separate the grain from the husks. He would then use a kind of fork or a shovel to pitch the grain and the chaff in the air. And they would often do this on hilly places, high places where the wind would catch it. The grain would fall to the floor to be preserved, and the chaff would be blown away to be collected, to be burnt. You see, the chaff represents those whose lives are not rooted in the Word of God. Then we have the two ways. The Lord watched over the way of the righteous, those who have placed their faith in His Word and in Jesus. Jesus said this in John 14 verse 6. Jesus answered them, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. But the way of the wicked leads to destruction. There is only one outcome for all who have not trusted in Jesus, and that is eternal separation from God. So Psalm 1 tells us about two types of people. Those who delight in the law of the Lord are blessed, and those who do not are destroyed. The question is, which one are you?